Good morning, members. It's 10:06 a.m. and I call this Ways and Means meeting, budget hearing to order. Um, we do have a quorum to conduct today's agenda. Um, Before we begin, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Ralph Imo, Chairman for Ways and Means. Next to myself is Representative BJ Atto, Vice Chair. On the floor, we have Representative Roman Benaventi, Vice Speaker Joel Camacho, Representative Marissa Flores, Representative Manny Castro, Representative TJ Manglonia, Representative Patrick San Nicolas, I think he's stepped out, Representative Joe Flores. I hereby excuse Rep. Julie, Rep. Angelo, and I believe the other members will make their way as we continue the hearing. Thank you again, President Galvin Guerrero, for being present and his team to present their budget request. And with that, can I get a motion to adopt today's agenda? There has been motion, has been seconded. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. We'll move along to the public comment. Is there anybody in the gallery that would like to make comments to the request made by NMC? Being there's none, may we escort the president and I believe we have the region here too uh, for their testimonies. Also, President, if there's other people I know we don't have the space, they can come forward. And I believe Miss Vicky's here. We can have Miss Vicky sit in one of the chairs if there's any questions we have. Sarge, please escort the. Thank you again, President Dr. G, for being here and his team. Board Chairman Charles Cepeda, thank you for making yourself present. And with that, Mr. President, I hand over the floor to you. Thank you.
Jesus Masi, Chairman, and good morning, distinguished members of this committee. I see many members and former members of the Proa tribe. So it's wonderful to see that you are really fulfilling NMC's mission by getting out there and serving our community. Chairman and representatives and committee members, on behalf of the Chairman, Charles Cepeda, the Board of Regents, and the entire Northern Marianas College Proa tribe, we are here today to testify on behalf of our budget requests. We truly appreciate this opportunity, and to just give you a little bit of an overview, we have we want to give you an update on how we've used the funds you invested in us this current fiscal year, and to give you an idea of where we're going next fiscal year, so that you know where your money is being spent. And we have about a 30-minute presentation, and then after that, we would love to answer any questions that you may have or address any concerns you may have. So we do have slides prepared. There are only 32 slides. Okay. So as you may know, about a year and a half ago, the Board of Regents, after engaging years of community engagement and feedback from the community and our stakeholders, we developed a new mission statement, and that is to cultivate stewardship through scholarship. This means that we take the best that higher education has to offer in training, in research, in outreach, and we use that to help our entire community become better stewards of our community. And so that is what informs our vision statement, which is As we sail ahead with a focus on learning, we lift the tide for everyone. Our goal is to lift this community up. That is why we exist. We exist to serve the community, to lift the community. And the way we do that is through 3 strategic priorities that are part of our strategic master plan. The first strategic priority is to take care of our community. The second is to take care of our resources. And the third is to take care of our people. So today's presentation will follow this structure. We will share with you what we are doing to take care of our community. We will share with you what we are doing to be responsible stewards of our financial and other resources. And we will share with you the impact that we are having on the people that come through NMC, work at NMC, and graduate from NMC. So to begin with, let's take a look at what we are doing to take care of our community. We are at our roots a community college. In fact, the first name of NMC was NMCC, Northern Marianas Community College. But we're evolving past that because now we have 2 bachelor's degree programs. We have had several partnerships for master's programs, and we are even looking at developing our own master's programs. But we still remember our roots in the community. And to begin our presentation on how we are taking care of the community, I'd like to call up the network director of the CNMI Small Business Development Center, which is housed at Northern Marianas College, Miss Nadine De Leon Guerrero.
Test. Good. Oh, did I turn?
No, it's red is on.
Oh, red is on. Red for NMC. Okay, got it. We were supposed to have 36 slides, but Dr. G took out 4 of mine, so now we're down to 32. So thank you, Dr. G, for this opportunity. Good morning, everybody. The CNMI SBDC, and I'm going to go straight into it if that's okay, because I know I have colleagues behind me that also need to present. So I just wanted to provide a little overview of what the CNMI SBDC does to service our community. And we start with providing one-to-one business advising. And during these sessions, we cover topics such as business plan development, marketing strategies, financial management. We offer business education in the form of conducting training opportunities and through providing technical assistance. During these technical assistance sessions, what we try to do is provide economic growth and expansion for existing businesses that want to seek capital access through different loan institutions. And so we help them package those. Important to note that all of these services are provided to our community at no cost. So none of our services are charged. Everything is really at no cost to our clients. Earlier this year, if you turn your attention to the slide, on the bottom, you see a snapshot of the 2024 Friends of Business Summit. Thank you to those that came. I see some of the attendees in the room now, so thank you so much for your presence. The goal of this event was to showcase the different products and services that our local businesses provide to the central government, who otherwise probably would have never known that these services exist. So the goal is to try to give business to our local businesses rather than seeking service providers outside of the Commonwealth. And that helps by keeping the money in the economy. That same day, we launched the cybersecurity training awareness campaign. I'd like to say that this event put the SBDC and the NMC at the forefront of cybersecurity. To be honest, I think we're a little behind in the game when it comes to cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is such a critical component. It is a potential threat to our national security, and it's one that we should really take seriously. Cybersecurity is such a critical component that the Department of Defense recognizes the importance of it. In order for businesses to avail federal contracts, there are certain cybersecurity measures that each business must adhere to before they even avail of these federal contracts. So it's important that they recognize why it's so critical to national security, and so much so that the Department of Defense recognizes that. Speaking of federal contracts, did you know that in 2023, $319 million worth of federal contracts were awarded in the CNMI? That is a big number, and it is a lucrative market that we all need to recognize. The SBDC wants to leverage this by providing technical assistance to all our small businesses who need technical assistance in navigating SAM.gov, which is the government procurement system, and through technical assistance trainings that help understand how to develop a capability statement. Both of these components are critical in order for businesses to even begin submitting a bid. So through these robust training workshops, we've been able to equip 66 businesses in the CNMI to now start bidding for federal contracts. That's a great number, and we don't plan to stop there. We plan on keep going until at least half of our clientele has that opportunity. If you turn your attention again to the slide, on the very top photo, you see a snapshot of the attendees of Boots to Business. Boots to Business is a nationally recognized program that we were able to partner with the Small Business Administration and the Veterans Business Outreach Center out of Honolulu, Hawaii. So through this training, we were able to provide technical assistance, business training, business plan development for 20 plus veterans, their spouses and their military families. And again, we don't plan to stop there. The training was so successful that we've had buy-in for the VBOC to return. So we hope to do one more training session before the end of the year. Because of the limited time, this is all I have time to talk about. We've done so much. Hopefully you've been paying attention to the news and seeing all the different things that the SBDC is doing to assist not just Saipan, but Tinian and Rhoda as well. Before I close, I wanted to talk a little bit about our cash match, because that's what we're here for, is the budget. I want to recognize the Northern Marianas College for their senior leadership. We have great support from the college, and you can see it starting from the top, trickles down to the bottom. They've done everything to help us by providing human capital access through the HR department, through the procurement department, and their finance department, just to name a few. What they do is they help us recruit with recruitment, all of those things, all at no cost to the SBDC. They also give us office space. They provide utilities, payment for that. And so to have them also shoulder the cash match requirements, it's just not sustainable. And the SBDC is a Commonwealth entity. It is not a host institution entity. And so on behalf of the CNMI SBDC from the islands of Saipan, Tinian, and Rhoda, we hope that you consider adding in some for the budget when it comes to the one-to-one matching. And I'll go ahead and turn it over to Dr. G to cover the rest of the cash match information. I think I went over 2 minutes, but thank you
It's
so
okay.
much.
Thank you very much, Nadine. And just so you know, the cash match is $500,000. And that's a lot for our institution to shoulder. And I want to reiterate what Nadine said. This is a CNMI program, not an NMC program. We have used our resources and our wherewithal to host and support the program, but we really need the support of the entire Commonwealth. And that's where you come into play. Like with any grants, like with any program, we need to do our part. And because the SBDC, as you can see, does such a good job of serving our community and taking care of our community. Right now, economic recovery is what we need. And SBDC is on the forefront of doing that for our community. Another group that's on the forefront doing that for our community has the word community embedded in its title, the Community Development Institute, which is headed by Monique Boyer-Sablon, who will now talk about the many different initiatives and programs and services provided by the Community Development Institute.
half a days in Tiro. So NMC's Community Development Institute is really the center for training and innovation at NMC. We are dedicated to providing transformative opportunities through workforce development certificate programs, contributing significantly to the growth and vitality of our community. So at the core of CDI is specialized training, where we offer both academic and non-academic training programs that are accelerated, targeted, and customized training programs designed to meet specific needs of individuals, businesses, government agencies, and community organizations. Recently, we focused on emerging and critical areas such as artificial intelligence in the workplace, effective communication. We've hosted cultural-based training programs. We host many career pathway academies for CNMI PSS students and high school students throughout the CNMI. And latest addition that we're really proud of is the IT certification program that we recently became a authorized delivery partner through the renowned CompTIA program. CDI has also partnered with 500 Sales to produce a cultural maritime training program under traditional navigation. This is led by Master Navigator Mario Benito. This program delves into the rich history of traditional navigation, tracing its origins and evolution across diverse cultures. CDI also houses what we call the Area Health Education Center, which plays a critical role in healthcare and public health career exploration. We have developed and opened a newly renovated health simulation lab at NMC, which is instrumental in training the next generation of healthcare providers. So CDI is the cornerstone of our community's development in modernized, relevant training and innovative ideas, and is NMC's way of continuing education into our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Monique. And it's important to note that SBDC and CDI are active on all islands across all neighborhoods. We make sure that we are reaching out to serve our people throughout all the villages and throughout all the islands. And one program that certainly does that in our community is the Cooperative Research Extension and Education Services. And typically we'd have our dynamic Dean Patty come up here and present, but she could not join us today. So instead, we're going to have one of the products of CREASE, particularly under the 4-H program, who just recently graduated from Northern Marianas College and is here today to tell you a little bit more about what CREASE has been doing. I'd like to call up to this, to the microphone, Mr. Jody Coloma.
Half a days in Tiro. So NMC's Cooperative Research, Extension, and Education Services, or CREASE, provides quality technical programs, services, and information to benefit the people, the environment, and the economy of the CNMI. With continuous interaction, collaboration, and a unified direction, the department is dedicated to helping improve the economic well-being, living conditions, and overall quality of life of its stakeholders. Our stakeholders include farmers, families, youth, individuals, government agencies, and various ethnic communities. USDA awarded NMC with $10 million to help create, cultivate, and expand a next generation agritourism workforce for the CNMI through workforce development programs, immersive learning experiences, and scholarship opportunities for pursuing degrees in food science, agriculture, natural resource management, agritourism, and related disciplines. CREASE continues to lead the way in helping develop the CNMI's agriculture. Recently, hundreds of community members on Rhoda gathered at Chamorro Village for the Luta Ag Fair to celebrate the island's agricultural producers. Students from Rhoda's public schools observed the colorful, award-winning produce displayed at the fair. Local farmers and ranchers showcased their livestock, ornamentals, and produce, providing an opportunity to highlight their agricultural work and dedication. CREASE also continues to promote regenerative agriculture through its continuing partnership with Dr. Craig Elevich in holding agroforestry workshops on Saipan, Tinian, and Rhoda. Governor Arnold Palacios signed an executive order that promotes the aims of the Green Growth Initiative, which includes 17 sustainable development goals that address climate change, pollution, and biodiversity in the Sinai. The Green Growth Initiative is part of a comprehensive sustainable development plan spearheaded by the Office of Climate Policy and Planning and the Northern Marianas College. The initiative will be chaired by the governor and NMC president Galvin De Leon Guerrero, while CREE's Dean Patty Coleman and Climate Policy and Planning Office Special Assistant Tina Sablan chair the initiative's working group. One excellent example of how we are taking care of our community is 4-H Marianas. With support from CREES, 4-H Marianas sponsors a wide variety of activities that help young people to learn about agriculture, aquaculture, science, recycling, food, and nutrition, as well as the importance of our island's culture. Yeah. In addition to events like Movie Mania, the Leadership Series, and the very popular Camp Magalahi, which is actually in its 10-year anniversary this year. We help amplify the voices of our young people across the world. Recently, our youth delegates showcased Sinamai's commitment to youth development at the prestigious National 4-H Conference. In addition to Joseph Santos from Tinian High School reciting the 4-H Youth Pledge in Tamoru, and Claire Rodriguez, also from Tinian High School, being selected nationwide as one of only 6 members of the youth leadership team. Rosabelle Serla, a former 4-H Camp Magalahi counselor, facilitated the Sustaining on Intergenerational Environmental Justice Movement Roundtable, presenting to the White House Council on Environmental Quality. Jedrick Anishieta from Marianas High School served on the Messaging the Clean Energy Transition Roundtable, presenting to the U.S. Department of Energy. And Jane Mazunder, also from Marianas High School, served on the Roundtable on National Service, presenting to AmeriCorps. Additionally, the National Youth Leadership Team facilitated an interview with the United States Department of Agriculture Secretary, the Honorable Tom Vilsack. With our island's youth representing us so well at such a high level, it was a proud moment for the Northern Mariana Islands. Thank you.
Thank you, Jody. So I hope it's clear that we are doing a lot with very little to take care of our community. But because we have very little, we have to be excellent, responsible stewards of our limited resources. And that is why it's the second plank of our strategic master plan, to take care of our resources. And to prepare for this, I'm going to ask our CIP director, Rachel Fusco, to come up and just position herself. And while she's doing that, sometimes it's better to show rather than tell, right? Remember that growing up, going to school, it's show and tell. So we have a quick video that will give you a very quick update on how it's going as we build the Student Center. So if you could turn your attention to the screens, you'll see a time-lapse video.
So that video was our flagship NMC Student Center, which is funded by the U.S. Department of Education, FEMA, and the Office of Insular Affairs. In the end, it'll be a 3-story, 38,365 square foot building, and it will house a double height dining and multi-purpose hall so that we can have events, admissions and records, the career center, financial aid, the NMC bookstore, the CNMI archives. various lounges, food vendor stalls, library, tech lounge, counseling, tutoring center, testing center, various meeting rooms, student activities and leadership, and a large outdoor terrace. There's also a performance lawn, which will integrate into our central campus quad. And construction is currently ongoing. The completion date is scheduled for April 25, 2025. And then this project here is our CRED building. This is the Center for Research, Extension, and Development. The building is funded by the Economic Development Administration, and it is a two-story, 18,954 square foot building. This will house state-of-the-art skills laboratories, simulation labs, food science and agriculture labs, multi-purpose space to conduct research and extension activities, as well as administrative offices. The exterior space has an outdoor learning area for, the 4-H program and other events that CREES has, and they also have edible landscaping, which is exciting. And right now, the A&E design is 90% complete, and we will bid this project out as soon as it's finished and we get EDA approval. This is our Workforce Development and Training Center, which is another project that's funded through the Economic Development Administration. And it's a one-story, 15,200 square foot building. And this will house our nursing program, the business program, the Community Development Institute, and the Small Business Development Center. The design is 100% complete, and we are, working out the details with EDA so that we can bid this out. And then, well, not lastly, but right now the funded projects, the last of the funded projects we have is our classroom buildings. And this is funded through the Department of Housing and Urban Development through NMHC. So NMC is constructing 2 one-story classroom buildings, which will be a total of 20 classrooms. And the A&E design is incorporating a future potential second floor for a total of 40 classrooms. And the second floor can be constructed shovel ready as soon as funding is identified. The 2 buildings, one was identified as the STEM building and the other one is the humanities building. And right now, the A&E design is ongoing, and it's targeted to be completed in December of this year so that we can also bid this out for construction.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you very much. So a lot of work is being done, but not just with our facilities, but also managing the limited resources, the limited funding that we have. And so I'd like to ask our Chief Financial Officer, David Attel, to help you learn more about what we're doing to manage our funds.
Thank you, Dr. G. Can you hear me? For the Tiro and todo mundo. Thank you for having us here again at the college. We're at we are responsible for the people's money, and we're trying our best to continue that responsibly. There are many CFOs and teammates before us that kept this streak going, and credit the whole college from top to bottom, bottom to top, and our team for giving us 16 years of clean audits, and we're working on our 17th right now. We hope to get that soon. So that is with a lot of understanding that it's not our money, and we have to respect the process and use it wisely because we need a lot of it, but we have very limited resources to do everything that everybody wants. Right. So we try our best, and so far we've been inching along, as you can see, the products that are being produced. We do this by, it says they're ongoing training and Pacific Island public auditors, but these are the different standards that we have here with our college that we need to ensure that we continue the stewardship because, again, in order for you to have 16 years of clean audit, should be able to provide evidence that you're doing it, right? And we've when you do these clean audits, it becomes a very big thing when we're evaluated by the public auditor, evaluated by our external parties, third parties, and we're able to execute what we are asked to do in a very clear and clean manner. This provides us the opportunity to continue um, being responsible with the funds you provide us, and then allows us to grow as a college and continue moving in a positive direction. Um, as we are stewards in this process, we work towards providing quality and continuous improvements in that area. That's all I have for now. Thank you.
Thank you, CFO. And one way that we're able to make the best use of our limited funds is to really improve our IT support and our IT services. And one way we're doing that is by migrating all our systems over to one what's called enterprise system. So I'd like to call up to the microphone our interim information technology director, Mr. Renadel Buno, who will share with you a little bit more about what we're doing with this digital migration.
Good morning, representatives. Enrolling in a course should never really be harder than the course itself. That really is the guiding principle of the Digital Migration Initiative, which we have branded under One PROA. With One PROA, we aim to establish a more efficient and integrated digital ecosystem for our students. Using the software Ellucian Colleague, which is a cloud-based solution, we can streamline our administrative processes and ensure data consistency across all our departments at NMC. What this allows us is to create a seamless student experience with simplified academic and business procedures, and also information that is readily available for the students. With this, it allows us to have our faculty focus on teaching, and have our staff give our staff more time doing strategic and innovative work. With a well-equipped workforce means better service, and better service means our students are well served, which means that they stay on island and they become part of our workforce. By moving to the cloud, we are building a more resilient data system, protected from physical damages like the typhoons that we've had in the past, while saving time and resources on maintaining the on-site services that we have. This shift enables our employees to focus more on supporting our college goals and initiatives instead of maintaining our systems at the college. All of these will address our current recommendations from our accrediting body to empower our college functions and academic processes through IT, and centralize our data so that everyone in the college can have ready reports and data which they can use for their decisions in the college. Our PROA community, from our leadership to our employees, have been engaged since day one to ensure that the system will be created not only to address the current needs, but also the future needs of the college as well. And together as One PROA, we are building a sustainable, efficient system that benefits our students, our community, and paves the way for future generations of NMC and the CNMI. Thank you.
Thank you, Ren. So as you can see, we are doing what we can to take care of our limited resources. But we're not stopping there. We have a lot of upcoming projects. We're working with the Commonwealth Transit Authority to ensure that our new campus will serve as a CODA hub. We are still looking into developing a healthcare training center. Of course, what's a campus without a gym? Adequate parking. And we continue to push for the Dandan Revitalization Project to turn that area into a college town. And when you factor in all that we are doing with the facilities, the economic impact adds up to $200 million. And this is based on studies we've done with the Department of Commerce and some of our analysts. $200 million of economic activity going directly into the CNMI economy. That's what's at stake here with our new buildings and the trajectory that NMC is on. But, you know, we are more than just about our community, more than just about our resources. We are about our people. And one of our most important stakeholders in the community is our students and our graduates. So taking care of them is very, very important to us. So to talk a little bit about what we are doing to take care of our students, I'd like to turn it over to our Dean of Student Support Services, Charlotte Cepeda.
Thank you, Dr. G. Hoffaday and T-Roll, everyone. Through the wide variety of student support services across the campus and in our instructional sites on all 3 of our islands, we're going the extra mile to help ensure health and wellness of our students at the college and preparing for workforce readiness after college. Using federal funds, the college is currently offering a series of programs to support student mental health, including sponsoring wellness camps on all islands and even on Maniagaha. And that's that bottom photo that you see there. We're providing self-care kits to students through our PROA pantry, which is another area where our students are able to access things like non-perishable foods and other items that they need in order to be able to stay and remain focused on the academics. And also providing direct grief counseling when needed on all 3 islands. Earlier this year, NMC held its 2nd annual health night at the Mango Terrace as part of the Spring 2024 Welcome Week. And that's that photo up on top and to the left. Students, faculty, staff, and also the members of the community were invited and joined the event and interacted with booths from SBDC client members, took part in Tai Chi and Zumba classes, observed healthy recipe demonstrations from NMC Crease, and were provided health screenings from our NMC nursing squad. We all are aware that the healthy body affects a healthy mind. Featuring NMC alumni presenters from PSS, ITNE, and Citadel. That's that photo found on the top right. NMC held the 2024 Career Conference, an event that aimed to provide holistic and immersive experiences for our college students to equip them with not only the academics, but the knowledge, the skills, and the inspiration to navigate their unique paths towards fulfilling their careers. Our Project PROA program continues to help Indigenous Chamorros and Carolinians better transition into the college and prepare for careers in STEM through several services. In addition to a robust tutoring and mentoring program, these services include Camp PROA, the Career Exploration Opportunity Internship Program, and the PROA Pathways Program, which is helping our students to transition into Portland State University. NMC also houses the CNMI's University Center for Excellence in Developmental Disabilities, or what we call UCED. This program helps NMC and the broader community better meet the needs of individuals with developmental disabilities inside NMC and outside NMC. The well-being of our students is paramount for all of us at NMC. We provide wellness services with a particular focus at this point on mental health support and preventative care. We also are committed to addressing the social determinants of health by investing in programs and in the community, providing student engagement opportunities, a sense of belonging, a positive college experience, and more resilience as they leave us.
Thank you, Dean Shar. I just need to point out that when it comes to student support, Dean Shar takes it to heart. She's an incredibly busy woman, but no matter how busy she is, if a student needs to see her, she will make the time to see that student. And so our students are very blessed by her leadership and her compassion and empathy. But we're also very blessed by very strong academic programs and services, which is sort of our bread and butter, offering courses and degrees and certificate programs to help our students and our community improve the quality of their lives. So to speak about the various ways that our academic programs are serving our people, I'd like to have our interim Dean for Academic Programs and Services, Lorraine Maui, speak about that.
Thank you, Dr. G. Half a day, Tiro, and good morning. Our students and graduates continue to succeed with the rigorous curriculum that our academic programs and services provide, all with a focus on meeting the workforce needs of the CNMI. As a testament to their program excellence, the college's academic programs have garnered regional and national recognition. This includes the Beta Lambda Psi chapter of Phi Theta Kappa PTK, being named a recipient of the Reach Rewards program for the 5th year in a row. Students from our School of Business who bested over 6,000 competitors to place in the top 10th percentile in the Capsism 2.0 Global Business Simulation Program. Nursing students Ninfa Robago and Joanne Sampson, representing the CNMI at the Pacific Non-Communicable Disease Youth Ambassador Regional Workshop held in New Caledonia. And pre-engineering graduate EJ Aguirre being named as a 2024 New Century Transfer Pathway Scholar by PTK. We are also meeting the overall needs of the community by supporting our students and scholars in various research projects, including presentations at the 2024 Conference on Island Sustainability on Guam, the publication of Dr. Faye Untalan's Fino Tomorrow for Beginners, and the college's 2nd annual research symposium. Above all, NMC remains committed to meeting the workforce and economic development needs of the Commonwealth by providing targeted training programs that prepare our people for direct entry into the workforce, such as last week's 17th cycle Ports Police graduation. That graduation recognized 10 cadets who had completed an accelerated program of academic instruction and experiential learning to prepare them for direct employment by the Commonwealth Ports Authority.
Thank you, Dean Rain. So you've heard a lot from us. We'd like for you to hear a little bit from 4 of our students, our current students, and what their experience has been like. So if you could turn your attention to the monitors, you'll hear from them right now.
Hi, my name is Janara, and I'm majoring in Bachelor's of Business Management here at NMC. Students should come to NMC because NMC provided me with a stepping stone to further my education and help me contribute to the CNMI workforce. Start smart, start at NMC.
Tiro. My name is Mark Talay Pangilinan, and I'm a Natural Resource Management student at NMC. For one part, NMC offers a lot of different opportunities for people to go abroad, as well as opportunities to interact directly with community stakeholders. For instance, I've been in the Natural Resource Management program for about 2 years, and in those 2 years, I've been interacting a lot with different environmental organizations around the island, such as BECQ, the CNMI Forestry, and NMC provides a lot of different networking opportunities so that as you're expanding upon your knowledge, you're also building a nice little social network with yourself and future employers along the way.
My name is Kimberly Babauta Hofschneider. I am an NMC nursing and business student. As a single mother, it was really important for me to find that perfect balance with going to school full time and finding childcare. Coming to NMC offered me that with a great tuition rate and being close to home at the same time. I'm really grateful to be a part of the NMC nursing program, and I am super proud to be a PROA.
Hello, my name is Julia Tilmar, and I'm currently pursuing my major in natural resource management. I chose NMC because I wasn't ready to leave the islands yet, and I knew that NMC had a great natural resource management program that not only focuses on Western sciences, but also local perspectives about how we can better manage our resources, which really aligned with my interests.
That's what we're all about, right? It's helping people succeed, helping our students, helping our graduates, helping our community. And that's why, we're very happy to celebrate the graduation of 267 PROAs a few weeks ago. And I thank many of you that were there for that. And it's not just there. Like once they graduate, we have a 90% job placement rate over the course of 2 to 3 years. And for those that are not pursuing jobs right out the chute, they are transferring to pursue their bachelor's degrees, their master's degrees. And I think the most important thing about the NMC graduates, and we see right here in this very room, is that most of our graduates, they stay here or they come back. What happens to a lot of students that go off island for college, they like the life there, right? They like being able to walk down to a Starbucks. But here, when they go to NMC, they rediscover their love for the Commonwealth. And so that's why you see a lot of NMC proas still here in the Marianas. And whenever anyone talks about a brain drain that's happening in the Commonwealth, I counter by saying, well, that's not entirely true, because there's a proa here, there's a proa there, there are proas everywhere. So when you invest in the college, you are investing in the long-term sustainability of the Northern Marianas. And we see this in the stories of some of our recent graduates, because it's not just about the numbers, right? John Sablon, he's a non-traditional student who he decided to go back to school while still working, raising a family, and still managing a successful life as a musician. He recently earned his associate's degree in natural resources management and will continue pursuing his business degree. Jessica Anderbohr, she suffered a knee injury that impaired her mobility, almost and forced her to resign her job and caused a lot of financial instability. But she persisted to graduate with her associate degree in nursing. Earl Salamet, who had to balance active military deployments and family obligations with his coursework so he could graduate with his degree in criminal justice. Mark Kalma, whose mother is sick and bedridden back in the Philippines, whose father abandoned him, and he recently experienced a heartbreak. But despite those challenges, he stuck with it and earned his bachelor's in business management. Or what about sisters Maricon and Alicia, who were both working full-time at CUC and being full-time mothers, but they both earned their bachelor's degrees in management. And then there's also Mike Ariel Villagomez Morales, whose long, winding journey to the States and back led him to discover his passion for teaching and earning his bachelor's in education, and who just got married this past weekend. Or NMC's very own Jennifer Beneventi from our procurement office, who took a 14-year hiatus from school, but with support from her family, earned her bachelor's degree in business. And I'm sure many of you know Richard, who has been everywhere. He's had to juggle multiple jobs, leading communications at the governor's office, teaching ESL. He's been a DJ on the radio, and he's also been a leader of the Rotaract Club. He still was able to balance all of that and earn his associate's degree in liberal arts with an emphasis in elementary education. And with us today, we have two additional proas, proud proas, who are going to tell you their story. We have with us today Matthew Cabrera, and if I could call him up to the microphone. He's here on island for a brief visit. And you may remember him. He served as a work study under Vice President Frankie Liptico, helping with communications. He graduated with his AA in liberal arts, right? And then you transferred to UOG. And while there, you were involved in ROTC. And through that, after you graduated, you were commissioned an officer, right? And then soon after that, you eventually made your way up and you were stationed at Fort Knox, Kentucky. So I'm done talking.
Thank you, Dr. G. Hafide and Tiro. Good morning, distinguished leaders, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunity this morning to offer part of my story in support of the Northern Marianas College and this team of quiet professionals decked out in pearl red across the room. Sorry, I didn't get the memo. My name is Matt Cabrera, as Dr. G mentioned, active duty Army officer of 11 years, currently stationed at Fort Knox. And most importantly, I'm a graduate of NMC. Earned my associate's degree in liberal arts 2009. Then moved to Guam, finished that up, as well as pursuing a commission through ROTC. Every chance I get to reflect on my days at NMC, I can't help but be truly grateful for the solid start that it gave me. Having been a student as well as a work study and then also a full-time employee, was when I began to develop the leadership skills and organizational skills that I employ on a daily basis in the Army. I was a member of the PROA team when a number of the programs that were just presented to you, fine ladies and gentlemen, were just ideas sketched on a napkin from the snack bar. And as I was sitting in the back just listening to all the presentations earlier, I'm just immensely impressed by the progress achieved since I was a part of the PROA team, and just truly grateful for the continued dedication that the college extends to the community. In the Army, it's in the military in general, it can be very hard, it can be very stressful having to move everywhere move from place to place every 3 years. And one of the big things that they harp on is just support to not just the soldiers but also the families. And I see a lot of that in the programs that the college offers, because again, military life is more than just the soldier, it's the families. And just, with the college, it's more than just what's in the classroom, it's also what's outside the classroom, reaching out to the community. So I really appreciate seeing that with NMC. And my only regret is that my family and I have been away for the past 14 years and have not been able to witness these accomplishments in person. But I best believe that we'll continue to watch and cheer on from a distance and look forward to returning home after my time in the service. So thank you again for the opportunity this morning.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service under VP Frankie. And you're welcome to come back anytime. One last speaker we have for you today is a pillar of business leadership in our community. She overcame so many struggles, personal, professional, and she really is the epitome of resiliency, determination, and passion. I don't know how she's done it, being a full-time mom, being a full-time student, being a full-time rock star. She's an amazing inspiration for many young women who would like to pursue a career in business. And somehow she also finds time to volunteer on many different activities. So without much further ado, I'd like to ask Tanya David to come up and share her story. She's so committed to her work. She's actually, she's working on an audit. So she gave us a heads up that she might be running late. So I'll wrap it up here and then really open the floor for questions. I think NMC time and time again has demonstrated its commitment to taking care of our community, to taking care of our resources, and to taking care of our people. If we wanted to kind of wrap up all of this in one statement, NMC takes care of you because you are a member of our community. You are the people of the Northern Marianas. Yes, you are leaders, but you are also members of this community. So we come to you today requesting that as we do our best to take care of you, we implore you to also take care of us. Help us do our job by taking care of us. Help us take care of our community, our resources, and our people by taking care of us. I know this is hard. I know you have difficult decisions to make. And I know that there's a lot of bad news out there. But there's a story I like to tell in a lot of these public gatherings. The success of our students, our graduates, and our people should remind us all of the hope that our ancestors had when they sailed thousands of miles across the vast Pacific on their mighty proas. They drew from a rich heritage passed on for generations. They were guided by the stars, the ocean, and the wind to seek islands that lie just beyond the horizon. They could not see where they were going. That's the way it works, right? The curvature of the earth. You can't see where you're going. But our ancestors knew where they needed to go. It took incredible hope to have that kind of vision, to see what could not be seen. That takes hope, that takes vision. And I honestly believe it's something we all need more of these days, no matter what the headlines tell us. It seems like every day there's some negative story, right? But really, all of us can learn from our ancestors. And we can learn from the proas of Northern Marianas College this simple lesson. Despite all the challenges we face, do not despair. Do not despair. Do not lose hope. You as our leaders, we as leaders need to have enough vision to see what others cannot see. And once we see and know where we're going, we can sail towards that brighter, better future for our Commonwealth with all our heart and all our soul. And as we do, and as we like to say at NMC, remember to stay safe, to stay calm, and sail on. Jesus Masi. We now stand ready for questions.
Thank you, Dr. G. Before I open it up to the for questioning, would the chairman of the region would like to do an opening statement or a testimony?
Hafide and Tito, thank you, Chair. Of course, I didn't come prepared. The team did all the work. The presentation that they've done is just shows how much work they've put on in making sure that the college is operating as best as it could. And as a chairman of the Board of Regents, there's nothing more that I could say or do but to applaud the work that they've been working on and doing throughout this years. I've been part of the Board of Regents and NMC for several years, this term and the term before that too. But the testimony from Matt, thank you, Matt, for your service, shows the development of the NMC of where it was through napkin and the student center or the cafeteria to where we're at now. It's easy to see what's happening in NMC when it's physical and you see the rebars going up in the student center. That was a work of a super typhoon that brought us that opportunity, brought us that beauty of something growing out of the grounds for NMC. But the truth is, it's a work from the staff and management of NMC. That would not have happened if we didn't fight back and fight for the funding. And when I say we, the Board of Regents and the administration worked together in deciding the direction of where the pro was going to sell. And the Board of Regents we listen to the administration and we listen to their needs. We listen to their how they come up with the decisions. And as a businessman and a manager, it was tough to listen at times because I personally want things done right away, and that's the experience I've got. But it's also been shared that with the CFO that we got to be stewardship of the funds, good stewards of where and how we use the funds. And it's never enough when you want more, when you want big and exciting things. But overall, as the presentation's been done, overall, we all got to look at this is a benefit for our community, the whole CNMI. The resources that we're putting out as benefiting the budget for the CNMI. That's, Dr. G said $200 million worth of money that's going around through what's happening up in NMC. But I say that's times 3. So you're looking, way more than what you can see right now as what's happening. And it's all that funds goes back into the community. And the resource, and then the most important part is our people, the students. I'm always reminded that students, to think about our students and think about their needs and what the classrooms needs. And they're still intense, by the way, but they still show up. Close to 1,700 students, correct? Come to the campus, take courses, and then graduate with 200 some of them. So that's who personally, and I'm sure most of the Board of Regents are there for the students. Why do this if they're not there? But we want to show them that we were going to build from ground up, start over, and a new NMC is coming. So we hope that you support us in that. But the other part that every year I bring up, and I think I try and remind myself to congratulate and thank you to The president, Dr. G, and the team, they're all here. They're all in red. And there's over 122, 120 some staff from, I see Rhoda's represented, Tinyan's also represented, but that's who we're asking your support for, so that they can continue to support the students and continue to support NMC and continue to move forward with NMC's vision of providing to the community, to the people. Thank you for the opportunity, Chair, and I apologize for not being prepared, but I'm here on behalf of the Board of Regents who advocates for the NMC community, NMC team, administration, and we support the president, Dr. Galvin Guerrero, and I acknowledge Regent Jesse Tudela, who's here too. He's the chair for the facilities committee, and there is a lot of hours, time, headache, stress that we as Regent go through to advocate for them, and we thank you to. We ask that you support them, and thank you for your support to NMC again. And again, once again, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Chairman Cepeda, for your testimony. Thank you, Dr. G, again for your presentation. I believe you did answer a lot of my questions for what little we give the NMC. NMC I've seen through its audit reports, shows that they're managing their funds correctly. And just a few questions before I open it up, because of time, I'm gonna have to limit the members to 5 minutes per member so that everybody can ask. Pretty much the allotments that are coming in, are they consistent? Because I understand if it's not consistent, then you dip into your pockets, and does that put NMC at a predicament where it's going to come, I guess, a shortfall that might happen?
Thank you, Chairman, for that question. It's an excellent question. I'm glad you asked it. You asked the same question last year. And as part of our close collaboration with the Board of Regents, we agreed to do a weekly dashboard update amongst the college leadership and the Board of Regents. So every week we check and we see what's been transferred against what was budgeted. And I'm happy to report that for the most recent second quarter, we are up to date, and we are working on getting the third quarter transferred as we prepare for the fourth quarter for the current fiscal year. So it took a little bit of pushing, but I think with the board's leadership and coming together like that and making sure that all that data was available, we were able to advocate to ensure that the transfers are made in a timely manner.
Thank you for that. And I believe our fiscal analyst asked the same question. I did look at your audit report. It shows that it's positive. So I know you're doing your best to stay afloat and to manage what we're giving. You understand this body appropriates. I believe we appropriate a little bit over what the administration has given, and I don't think anyone here in this body is against giving additional funds again to NMC. And you're right. Our investment in our students is going to sustain us in the future, and I actually believe that. My son goes to NMC, so it's a conflict. No, no, but it's a testament that I believe in the school, and that's why I chose to have him stay here for 2 years and see what happens after that. But just to share that, I guess with does NMC engage in long-term debts right now, or is that something that NMC is planning to do?
We do not engage in long-term debts. We engage in long-term investments. So our foundation has been very good about managing their portfolio. It's not a lot, but it's something. And our finance team, under the leadership of the Board of Regents, has really managed our appropriations budget and our operations budget. We are looking at supporting the Marianas Public Land Trust line of credit program, but only as a last resort. We do not want to take out any loans Because if we do, we have to come back to this body and get your approval. And we don't want to shoulder the CMI with that burden. What rather we'd like to, we're committed to lobbying, advocating for more funding, but also eventually, once more of the buildings are going up, engaging in a capital campaign to fund the rest of the facilities master plan. Because right now, only 5 buildings are going up, plus a parking structure and a gym. But we have a total of 14 buildings in the facilities master plan. Interesting fact, there are 14 islands in the Northern Marianas. So if we can build all 14 buildings, we can name each building after each island in the Northern Marianas. But to go back to your question, Chairman, we do our best not to go into debt.
Okay, thank you for that. And the vice chair and we look at other ways to help, I guess, creative financing. I mean, we always hear is we don't have this, we don't have that. So we're always try to find ways, and even just going into looking at long-term debt, looking into tapping some of the taxes that are, reappropriating some of that to go to NMC so that we don't have to do additional taxes. What we need to do is just portion it to like the liquid fuel tax, for example, that's been free for so many years. We're looking at that avenue right now. We're also looking at possibly even tapping in, well, I won't speak on behalf of my vice chair, but even the hotel tax, to look at grabbing some of that funds, because a lot of our investment is going back into the community. So we're looking at that now, and trying to find ways. And with that, I have other questions, but I said that time limit at 5 minutes because there's a lot of us, and I'm gonna open up the floor to the members. Brett Flores.
I'll go first this time. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Team NMC PROA, for being here. I was taking notes as I was going along, and I have to commend you on your audits standing. I can't tell you and I can't express to you how audits are very important in terms of planning, advocating, and ensuring that resources are appropriated accordingly. When you talk about NMC, you mentioned something earlier. I heard you say it, Doc, when you said we're not into long-term debt, but we're into long-term investments. And then you mentioned something about lobbying. I heard that it's right below the whim of the air, and you said lobbying, and then you turned it into advocacy. So I want to tell you that I heard that, and long-term debt is lobbying. Long-term investment is advocating. And I think that's important as we now kind of plan moving forward to help the college as it turns around to ensure long-term longevity and its purpose and mission for the people of the Commonwealth. I also believe that resources are not just money. I believe resources are people. And if we continue to invest in our people, we can bring down the disparity in this percentage of poverty and start moving people up the ladder towards whether it be entrepreneurship, degree programs, certification, whatever it is that the NMC College offers. I am in total support for that. I noticed that you have, I can't read this for the life of me. I think I need to go get glasses. So I had to turn on my magnifier on my phone. And it shows that the total for your personnel is at 106 FTEs, or 76 FTEs. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And of the total number for FTEs needed is $10 million to support 176. Is that correct?
Yes, that is
And then
correct.
4 million of that, based on your bottom line financial statement or budget request, 4 million that is for operations and what other categories?
Correct.
Based on your, okay. We're going to be doing a lot of advocating here. But I want to let you know that this body is dedicated to ensuring that the generations after us have the opportunities and the supports it needs. We totally believe that just based on a lot of the conversation, a lot of the sessions that we've had, there's a lot of issues that need to be corrected from the past as we move towards the future. And I'm never going to say that, you know, our founding fathers messed up anywhere, but at that time it was appropriate. That time it was needed. But now we need to be creative. We need to reinvent, reimagine, rebuild, renegotiate, right? It's all these wonderful things that we can do that are positive. But if we can get together and figure out what that is and isolate, and as the chairman said, look at all of these tax bills and maybe, you know, somehow move that into NMC. And so I have to commend this body for taking the initiative to already start looking into our chairman, under the direction of our chairman, to start looking into ways to help support the dreams of NMC in order for it to become a reality for the students and our community. So I yield my time for now, Mr. Chairman, first round. Thank you, NMC, so much for being here, and to your team. Congratulations and well done.
Thank you, Rep. Marissa. Rep. Manny.
I guess it's by default, Rep Man. But thank you, Chairman. Actually, I don't have much questions. I just want to thank the Associated Students of NMC for yesterday's meeting. And, you know, we're able to hear from the student perspective about a lot of the, it's more of not so much issues. So that's a good thing. But there was one question I just wanted to pose, since we're on the line of strategic thinking innovatively and strategically. Given that there's a lot of activity on the island of Tinian, with the divert airfield and the fact that the Saipan International Airport is one of the busiest airports in terms of takeoff and landings because of the flights between Saipan and Tinian. Is there a possibility that the college will look into flight schools for possibly even stationed on Tinian, so that there could be more equitable on the ground programs for our, you know, for the whole NMC community on all three islands?
Thank you very much, Representative Castro, and thank you also for your years of service at NMC. And that's an excellent question. And actually, when I first started as president and I met Dr. Tom Christ, the former president of the University of Guam, I learned that he himself is a pilot and retired Air Force. And so we both talked about that. We talked about establishing some kind of flight program for the entire Marianas. Unfortunately, what we learned is that the FAA and federal law requires that in order for you to earn your pilot license, you have to clock in a number of miles over solid ground. So the FAA is designed really for the continental US, right? So that's a challenge for us because we have a lot of ocean, but not a lot of ground. So before he departed, we were looking at ways, working with Congressman Kilili and also Congressman Moylan, to figure out how we can amend the law to allow for that. We could offer flight school here, but it just the graduates wouldn't be certified, or they wouldn't be licensed pilots. So if we can figure out that, you know, little wrinkle, it's certainly something we can do. Partnering with NM Tech, partnering with Star Marianas, this is something that everyone's interested in doing, but we're limited by federal law from doing so.
And just as a follow-up statement to that, also the reason is I see so many pilots. I'm friends with some of them that they come here for their hours and they fly on Star Marianas, and then later on you see them flying the bigger planes in the mainland. And I know CFO Dave's relative is also a pilot, and if we can get more of our people into those careers as well. Um, so I know we got some work cut out for us in DC in regards to that law. At the same time, we have all these strategic pre-positioned ships outside of our lagoon. Is the college also looking into opportunities for getting our people employed on those vessels at a much larger number? Because a lot of times, again, all these guys are coming in from Florida when they can easily be CNMI residents working on those vessels, and that would in turn also help our government by shifting some of the workforce onto those vessels, but at the same time, they can file their taxes here. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Yes, we are actually looking into that. Last week, while I was attending the Marianas Micronesian Islands Forum, I met with representatives from Cabras, their ship repair company out of Guam, who have a presence here in the Northern Marianas, and to learn more about how they've structured their apprenticeship program with Guam Community College. So this was initiated by our Board of Regents who met with them about a year ago. So the next step is to interface with the Secretary of Labor and also NMTech to figure out how we can replicate their program here so that we can train our people to work on those ships out there.
Thanks, Dr. G. Another question is also, I see there's a lot of vacancies in terms of positions here. And, we have a lot of good personnel at the college, and, I'm always coming from the college. It's a different type of environment. It's not just work, it's family. And others have said that as well. So the question I wanted to find out is, we lost a few of our IT personnel, and seeing a lot of good people leave because of pay, salary, and the vacancy still being open. And the IT personnel weren't the only ones. There were others in the previous year. And I wouldn't say that, the reason why I bring this up, because these are high caliber people that have really improved the college. And, we cannot stop them from seeking higher salaries, but is the college going to be filling some of these vacancies soon to prevent burnout and also make sure that there's continued growth?
Thank you, Representative. I think you mentioned burnout, and that's really the crux of it, other than pay. Many of these former pros, and we always warn them, we're like, hey, you're going to come back. But many of them, they are leaving the Commonwealth. They're earning triple, quadruple what they earned at the college and what they could earn here in the Commonwealth. So but really at the heart of it is burnout, and the mental health of our employees is something that we continue to work on. One of the things we started doing recently this year is our HR office sends out monthly anonymous surveys to our employees, to different sectors of the college, to really get a gauge on their mental health and what are the struggles they're going through. And so we're using that to inform a lot of our decision making. But the most important thing we can do, other than increasing pay, is to fill these vacancies, because people are stretched thin. And Representative Castro, I remember working with you and seeing you work, and I applaud you for you went above and beyond. I mean, sometimes, especially your team, your team went above and beyond, whether it came to graduation, Start Smart, outreach. Again, I don't know how you did it, but we can't continue to rely on that unsustainable approach to like doing as much as we can with what little we have. That's why we constantly appeal for more funding. Chairman Yumo asked, how do we do this right? How do we end up in the black and not in the red? And honestly, one of the approaches is to not fill vacancies. And we scrutinize every vacancy announcement. We scrutinize every position justification form, every personnel action. We scrutinize. And it's because we want to make sure that it's sustainable. We don't want to end up in the red. We don't want to end up borrowing money. We don't want to end up having payless paydays. So with your help, we can fill those vacancies. And we continue to work to fill critical vacancies, particularly in IT, particularly in student support services. We just had a meeting this week or last week to ensure that we are filling critical vacancies in student support services. And we are going to do it, right? We're doing it. So thank you very much, Representative Kashru, for recognizing the burnout, recognizing the pay differential, and recognizing that we need to fill these vacancies. Thank you.
Thank you again, Dr. G. The other question I had is also in regards to the labs. Is there? I didn't see anything in the budget for improving the labs because it's all linked. You know, the nursing labs, the labs for all the degree programs, and hopefully we'll get a forensics lab for the CJ program. But is there where the nursing students doing their labs right now?
Well, as was reported by Monique, we now have a AHEC simulation lab, and it's a really state-of-the-art lab. It's got a monitoring room. It's got kind of scary dummies that actually, like, you can feel their hearts, the pulse. And the new Workforce Development Center is going to have labs custom tailored to meet the needs of our nursing students. So I don't know how big your inbox is, but if you want, we can send you the current A&E designs, and you'll see the regions have taken a very active interest in making sure that the specs are designed to meet their needs. And then working with the Northern Marianas Housing Corporation with one of the classroom buildings, we're actually working with a design firm called Bard, I believe. We're still working it out, but they are laser focused on designing labs for institutions of higher learning. So the science building, the STEM building, one of the two classroom buildings, is going to have, we hope, 4 labs custom designed to meet. One lab is going to be a biology lab, one's going to be a chemistry lab, one's going to be a physics lab, and the other lab is anatomy, right? Okay, so yes, that's baked into a lot of the A&E design for the upcoming buildings.
Thank you. Last question. Actually, it's more of a statement. I just wanted to a statement and a request. I wanted to thank the college in general. You know, the budgeting process at the college is A+. And being a legislator, that's one of the first questions I asked when I came into this body is, do we have a contingency, set-asides? And these are things that the college has been practicing over the years, having a rainy day fund. So I hope that either CDI or the School of Business can be offering training programs to government agencies to help make sure that they're in the green, or not in the red in terms of financials, and they know how to budget accordingly, so we don't have a lot of these issues. But that is NMC's constitutional mandate. I think across the government, we have some customer service challenges, customer experience challenges, and that's an opportunity to not only train our workforce, but to just raise the standard, because that's a constant complaint by a lot of constituencies. We forget who we work for, and whether it's the business community or just a resident. I'm hoping that the college can be the forefront and start providing, like they used to, and they still do, but budgeting and also customer experience. Maybe we need to make a law for that. So I'll be working with you guys. Thank you.
You, Rep Castro, Rep Marissa, you have a follow up?
Yes, I do. I'm so sorry, Chairman, and I apologize. I kind of I yielded my time before I asked a question, and I think this is geared towards the CFO. Mr. Attal, how many grants does the college forecast to see or be awarded for fiscal year 2025?
For fiscal year 2025, we have our existing grants,
Okay.
which is Greece, AHEC, USED, PROA,
Okay.
and our construction grants for EDA.
Okay.
Those are DOE
Okay.
and Adult Ed, and there's a couple others that are smaller in scale.
Okay.
We're expecting to fund and expend within this year. If we get the green light to operate the construction projects, it's almost $60 million.
Okay.
But we need assistance in funding that because we do not have the cash flow for that kind of operation
Okay.
as a whole, if it happens all at once.
All right.
That's it.
So my next question is, with all of these grants that you have applied for, possibly will be awarded to receive, how many of them require matching?
The Cinema SBDC is a required match for that. That's 534,000. Priest is also a required match, is 1.9 million. And then the rest, we have a matching for USED, matching for AHEC, and matching for, no, those are the only ones that match.
Okay, so that's 4.
Adult Ed matches, but it's in kind. But she's asking about cash.
Okay. All right. So have you considered requesting from your external grantor a waiver for any of these?
We always request for a waiver.
Mhm.
And sometimes we're lucky and we get it, and sometimes we're not. With the crease, we've been getting waivers, but we're getting a little worried that we're getting a little complacent about that.
Mhm.
With SBDC, we've only been granted a waiver for this time because we just restarted the network.
Mhm.
We cannot expect a waiver next fiscal year. And then with all these other grants, we get creative in terms of not just in kind, but also like, okay, 10% of this person's job is going to be doing work for this particular grant. So it's in kind, but we can affix a dollar figure to it.
Okay. So will you be considering to request this year for a waiver for all of these grants that require a matching?
Yes.
With the help of Congressman Kalili before he exits out?
Yes, we always pursue waivers whenever possible. We work hard at it. It's just we can't rely on it.
Okay, and I think, when you look at the covenant, right, and how that was established, there's an article there that provides this support from the federal government. And I think maybe if we tap into that and put them to the wall and say, look, sir, based on our relationship as partners, please consider that. And I recommend you have a lot of smart minds in there. You can utilize, I'm sure, Dr. G, you're great at storytelling. You can whip something up real quick and, you know, put them to the wall. But, you know, that's a wonderful document to go in terms of history, right? Because we can always advocate for what's happening right now. One of the things we've never done was go back and advocate to how we got here. And I think using that avenue right now more than ever, they would be, you know, not forced, but maybe reconsider their relationship with us because we've given up a lot also. And in order to self sustain, there's, especially now in our economic climate, this would be the best time to request that. And I request that, or I ask that really look at that section of the covenant and really point that out because, yes, we are afforded this beautiful relationship and these supports from Big Brother, but I also believe that as a commonwealth, we also have a voice, and that voice needs to be heard right now at this time when we need it truly the most to be heard. Thank you. I yield my time.
Thank you, Rep. Flores. Any first rounders? Rep. TJ?
Good afternoon, everyone. President G and team. Again, thank you guys for providing the gold standard presentation, as always. Of course, there's not there's not much that can be said. You guys have been making it work with what you have, and again, the progression, as Mr. Cabrera said. I too was a work study under VP Frank Elliptical, and to see the progression from then until now, it just shows that you guys are constantly working and constantly looking forward. And I wasn't even aware that you guys were looking at building 14 buildings. So that's amazing. So I just want to commend you guys for all the hard work that you guys do. And I know you mentioned yesterday about the burnout and how you guys are working extra hard. And I hope that this body and the legislature can help get you those resources to get you the help that you need to build the facilities to where they need to be. I know yesterday you mentioned, I guess the question was brought up about kind of like bringing in, foreign, students, and what you mentioned was the lack of the facilities. And you're right, it's an investment. Once we invest in the facilities, that'll help bring those international students and obviously generate more revenue. So we look forward to seeing that happen. I guess I just have one question, and forgive me if I'm not aware of all the programs and services that are offered to the students. But one of the things that stood out to me yesterday during our conversation with the associated students was kind of that that culture shock from that transition from high school to college. I know that there's the Start Smart, right? But is there any other outreach program to where you guys partner with PSS to kind of, because I know the Start Smart is kind of on a bigger scale, but to reach out to the high schools individually on a smaller scale to where you can kind of give them a rundown of the transition from high school to college and how it's more of an independent process versus being in high school, because I can speak for myself too. That transition from high school to college, that was one of the shocks that I wasn't ready for, and kind of having that adjustment took a little bit of time. And I think I don't know if that's something that's being done right now, but it's something that could help with I guess the mental health aspect of that transitioning from high school to college. So
That's an excellent question, Representative. So, if you go to most stateside colleges, they're campus tours, right? So NMC actually used to offer something like that, and we revived it just this year under the leadership of Dean Shar and the Office of Student Activities and Leadership, and that is Discover NMC. So Star Smart, of course, is one of our signature events, but with Discover NMC, instead of bringing students to a big area and we put on a big show, we bring them to campus. And what we did this past time, with this last experience with Discover NMC, is we take them on a tour. Okay, but we also set up simulation classes. So they go in and they are escorted not just by NMC staff, but by current NMC students or pro ambassadors. And they're going through these classes, and then they get to ask questions of these students. And then because they're on campus, we take them to the Office of Admissions and Records. We take them to the Financial Aid Office. We take them to Project PROA, where basically it's almost like a one-stop shop. They are all there, and it's a lot more intimate. So instead of Start Smart is that's sort of like our big show concert. It's like our Lollapalooza, right? But with Discover NMC, it's much more intimate. So the students feel a stronger connection, and being on campus makes a big difference. And especially the students got to see their student center being built. So it was a powerful experience that we look to replicate in the future. And I know that Representative Kostru really kind of started that program when he was at the college. And it starts with freshmen and sophomores, but we went ahead and included juniors and seniors right in this last batch. So that's to recruit them and to help them make that visual transition. But we also offer a lot of support programs for current students. Our Project PROA is a wonderful place for that, where it's located pretty much in the center of campus. Students come in, they get tutoring, they get mentoring, they get advice, they get support, they get money, and they also just find fellowship there. And then if they need more targeted assistance, our learning support services offers counseling for students that need a bit more private support. So yeah, we do offer a range of support services, and I'm really excited that we've revived Discover NMC.
Thank you, President. Again, proving that you guys are on top of it. So that was my only question. And again, I want to thank you guys for all the work that you do, and speaking to the students yesterday, hearing how they feel that they have that support and that love from the faculty and staff at NMC, and not only just to keep them here, but to help them transition, to getting their bachelor's elsewhere. It's a great start to finish, and I want to thank you guys for all the hard work that you do. And I yield for now, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Manglonia. Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Dr. G, and to your team for joining us this morning. Just to follow up, thank you again for having us yesterday to meet with the students that are graduating and continuing their education at NMC. But yesterday we had spoken about the local laws. Can we get that information from you guys at the soonest? All local laws that gave funds to NMC, first, second, and third senatorial districts. And my question to you guys, I don't want to ask Dave questions because Rob's going to say it's a conflict, but with the programs that NMC provides to the various departments and agencies, such as like the cadet program for the CJ courses, how much do you get on an annual basis? Not just the DPS, corrections, or customs, or the enforcement entities, but like DLNR and all the other BCQ?
Well, it's a good question because we have a lot of community partners, and they're on a staggered, rotating basis. Can we get that information to you at another time to give you the dollar figure and even a breakdown?
I'm just asking that because a lot of these departments and line item agencies actually have revolving accounts that are created by law, right? That they gave them funding to run their programs. Maybe what we can do is revisit those statutes so we can take a percentage of each respective entity and department, so we can dedicate some of those funds directly to NMC. So rather than coming in here and looking at your budget at $4 million or $5 million, that there's a reserve account that should be flexible for NMC. In this case, for example, like the matchings to SBDC or any other programs that NMC needs for from the federal side, right? But also to have some sort of a cash flow for you guys available should there's an emergency that occurs down the road. I know that the foundation is doing a really good job in sustaining funds for you guys and making sure that it's invested back into the college. That's pretty much the only question. The recommendation I have for you guys, you mentioned about the 14 islands and the 14 buildings and potentially naming these buildings after the 14 islands. Why not consider an investment from the business community here to name the buildings after themselves, or building other structures at NMC, so that rather than getting a tax credit at $5,000, they invest directly into the college, provide that they name the building after them.
We are looking at that as part of our capital improvement or capital campaign. But so you know how like the buildings are called Building P, Building J?
Yes.
So it would still be called, like, let's say a big donor wants to name a building. We'd still call it after that donor, but it would be the donor's name, Saipan Building, or the donor's name, Rota Building. So yeah, but yes, we are definitely developing that with our foundation and with our marketing and our Office of Institutional Advancement.
Okay, and can I get the status with the communications between NMC and DPW regarding the strip up Dan? I remember we were working with DPW with that. We're supposed to get them some funding, but we're waiting for NMC's plan and idea so that we can pay for the A&E design for it.
You're talking about the Fina-Ciso lane?
No, well, I'm talking about the
the Dandan corridor.
I think I don't know if it's Dandan or Asterlahi that connects you all the way up to Shell towards the airport. There's an idea that was presented to the walkways when Mango's. This was, I think, possibly pre-U2 or right after U2.
Well, we've been requesting for TAP grants for that, and we keep getting denied. But in terms of working with DPW, I'll get back to you on that. We do work very closely with them. We've done some preliminary, very rudimentary designs, but they're not. It would take a lot more work. That's the TAP grants that we've applied for are to fund the A&E design work for the entire corridor.
Sure, but now that we're in the process of getting a lot of these road projects done, our ability to increase our federal funds from the federal highway, we can include that as part of the NMTIT project. So it'll actually open up a lot of opportunities for business investments around the college, so that we can actually get more traffic flow into the college and hopefully get students.
The college town idea. Yeah, that's something. Yeah, we'll definitely work with DPW to provide that information.
All right, and we'll await the information I requested regarding the departments and agencies, so we can assist in helping NMC in this budget process from the local level. What we can do from the budget level, we'll work with the chair and the committee members to get some funding to you guys. But throughout the fiscal year, by amending these laws that are going to be available, you're going to have a continuous funding source that will generate funding directly to NMC. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Vice Chair, for that. I just have a few questions. With regards to the nursing program, there is a limited number of spaces, and this past 2022, 22, and 3, there was, I guess, 16. I'm not sure what this year brought graduates, and are those students able to transfer into the CHCC and other medical facilities here in the CNMI?
Yes, but they also need to pass the NCLEX. And so one of the reasons why there's such demand for our nursing program is we've had to limit enrollment to ensure that we have quality space and quality time with these students. There was a time where NMC nursing graduates were not doing so well at the NCLEX. That has improved dramatically because of these quality controls. Once we have the new building and new facilities, we will have greater capacity to accommodate more students. The key is to make sure that they pass the NCLEX. They can probably take on some jobs, but not jobs that require NCLEX certification.
Okay. And is the hospital, I guess CACC, taking these nurses, and is there an exit poll where the nurses that graduate do stay in the CNMI, or
A majority of them do,
they do
yes.
stay?
And what happens is they'll stay in the CNMI, they'll work at CHCC or sometimes at private clinics. But then once they get more experience, because there's a global shortage of
Right.
nurses, they go to the continental states where, again, they could triple their income. But many of our NMC graduates stay with CHCC for quite a few years.
Okay. Okay, that's great to hear. With regards to the natural resources management, it's I guess it 2023 is it gone up again. So is there a lot of positions open in here in the CNMI, or is that?
Yes, there are. We work with a lot of community organizations, both government, nonprofit. There's a growing green sector of the economy, beyond what was already there, like with BECQ, DCRM, MENA. There are a lot of nonprofits and a lot of government entities that need expertise in natural resource management. But we're also seeing this emerging green economy that is going to require additional graduates, not just from natural resource management, but other related fields. So that's something that we're really working hard to meet the needs of the community. And our natural resource management program is actually looking into a lot of different grants to help increase our capacity.
And lastly, Dr. G, with regards to the limited funds that you receive from the CNMI, full-time faculty versus adjunct, where's the funds majority? I guess from the CNMI side, is it the full-time employees, or is it going majority to adjunct?
So CNMI appropriations fund full-time employees. Our tuition and fees fund adjunct faculty.
And then lastly is the federal program. Is that a large amount of faculties that are in the federal program side, or because I see you receive grants, so are they being paid? I mean,
So-
what is the ratio, I guess?
Well, it's not that much. There are a number of employees that are classified as faculty. It's just this professional designation, but they are not instructional faculty. And some of these faculty, per the requirement of grants to have what are called principal investigators, they need to be listed in that grant. But when it comes to the full-time faculty and even many of our adjunct faculty, many of them are not covered by these federal grants.
Okay.
So for instance, we have a number of faculty with increase, but if they are going to teach NMC courses, they actually have to get approval from their supervisor to teach outside of normal working hours. They cannot teach while on the clock with federally funded crease hours. So we have to make, because that would jeopardize the grant. So
Okay.
there has to be that separation.
With regards to the WICHI program, I'm not sure if Guam is under WICHI program too. So our students are able to, I guess, if they do decide to, because I see the Guam program is here, the Bachelor of in Management, I guess, or Business. I've seen a lot of those graduates. So if the students decide to go to Guam to do their bachelor's or so forth, are the units transferable easily? Is there some issues with the credits that are being transferred, or?
Most of them are very transferable. The issue comes when a student wants to major in something that we don't really provide here.
Okay.
Then there's that disconnect. So, but for instance, we have a 3+1 program with the University of Guam for criminal justice. That one is very seamless, and that's really designed, in addition to WICHI, to be a very seamless articulation program. But if you wanted to do, let's say, UOG offers a bachelor's in English, that might take you a little longer because we offer your core English classes like 101, 202, Introduction to Literature, Micronesian Literature, but we don't offer more advanced courses that they'd have to take at Guam.
Okay, because I didn't also notice the pre-engineering program, and there is an engineering program
Yes.
in UOG. So is there adjunct teachers that are out of Guam, teaching here in the CNMI, or? Or how does that work?
Yes and no. There are, so in our partnership with University of Guam, what we do is we work with them for their programs that we don't offer, to find adjunct faculty that are qualified here in the Northern Marianas. So they end up teaching University of Guam courses, but not on Guam. They
Right.
teach them here. And so NMC, in our partnership with them, particularly with criminal justice, that's how we work it out.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. I think I have, with regards to financial aid, I'm not sure if you can. Do we set the limit here in the cinema with regards to financial aids? Assuming, let's say, an average student gets $1,000, we get to decide where or how much is that stays in the cinema, or, I mean, how does that financial aid work? I guess.
So, it's going to be different for CNMI scholarship and SHEFA. SHEFA requires that you fulfill your first 2 years here. We're working on this with the scholarship board to do the same for the CNMI scholarship. For federal financial aid, particularly Pell Grants, basically you've got to pay your tuition and fees first, and then any extra goes to you.
Okay.
And those tuition and fees stay here because these are tuition and fees paid to Northern Marianas College.
Right. And I guess from yesterday's discussion with regards to, it's easier to have 18 units here in the cinema, that they are busy, they pay the classes, not like the 80s kids that spend the money. I think that's what Rip.
You mean the
asked
90s
us.
kids?
90 kids.
90s kids.
So I just wanted to get that clarification. Other than that, Dr. G, I don't have any further. Vice Speaker, did you have any comments, questions, concern, or Rep? We'll wrap it up with Rep Beneventi.
Okay, I actually don't have any questions, but I do want to thank you, Dr. G, and to your amazing team for all the hard work that you guys do. It's pretty apparent, like what Rep TJ said, it's always gold standard. Your presentations, it's pretty obvious. In terms of the budget, I'll be working alongside my colleagues. We'll be looking at a lot of crunching of numbers to come, and but obviously we support NMC and your initiatives. And once again, we thank you again for all your hard work and your team, your hardworking team. Thank you, Dr. G.
Thank you, Vice Speaker. Rep Beneventi.
Thank you, Chairman, and Dr. Galvin. I personally think you're doing a really great job. All of you folks that are here. I've monitored NMC since 2013, and I've seen the progress that goes along with it. And I've seen the economic downturn with the help of NMC. And what I really believe is that I believe that you guys are moving ahead because for Saipan, NMC is the economic engine. It will really grow our economics. Through the knowledge that each and every student that we have, it will assist and help economics for the future. So personally, when I think of it, I'm going to be one of the ancestors too. So with that said, I'd just like to congratulate also the Board of Region Chair, si Charles, and si Dave, for putting all your hard work together and, given the fact that 16 years of a clear budget, clear audit, that's really something that we have to look forward to. Because at the same time, if you continue that progress and that process, I think NMC is on the right track to move ahead more. I'd just like to say again, thank you to all of you guys that are working for NMC and helping each other, making ends meet to try to put it together. With the leadership of Dr. Galvin, you've been in education. I've been in education for the longest time, and I know how it is. Thank you. And for the part of the legislature, we'll work together like what the chairman has said. I don't think anyone would really question to try to support you folks. But we are also concerned over our fiscal situation that we have on island. So that's why we have to all put our 2 cents together. Thank you, and have a good day.
Thank you, Rep. Benavente. With that, is there any last round comments, concerns? With that being none, thank you again, Dr. G, for having yourself and your staff present here with the budget requests. I can speak for my vice chair that we are going to look for funds for NMC. As you can see, I have the memo here. But we're seriously looking at least trying to match what was given to you last fiscal year. It's going to be hard, and we may have to tap into local funds to address that issue. But at least every member here is in support, and it is our only investment here in the CNMI that we can actually see the products that are coming out of NMC. So with that, we're very grateful, and we'll continue to sit down with Dave and see how we can help. We're also looking at special funds. We see there's a lot of fire graduates. We see there is hospitality, so we're looking at some of those special revenues to at least help fund NMC, since they are opening up the programs to address what the community needs. So with that, Dr. G, I'll hand over the floor to you for your closing remark. Thank you.
Chairman, representatives, leaders, Chairman Cepeda. I know Regent Tadella was with us for a bit. One of the things that NMC has become known for, and you kind of alluded to it in terms of the products we're putting out, is that in this time of economic uncertainty and really global uncertainty, NMC is a beacon of hope. We show what's possible when you don't give in to despair. And on behalf of the entire PROA tribe and on behalf of all our graduates and all the lives we touch, I ask you to help us. I know it's hard. Believe me, I do not envy your jobs. I have nothing but respect for anyone that runs for elected office, because it can be a thankless job, especially when you have to make those hard choices. But I appeal to you, that beacon of hope needs fuel. That's why we're in red, because we're red hot. Okay? But don't let that fire die. We're doing our best to keep that fire on, to keep that flame burning. But we need your help. We need to add fuel to that fire so that we can shine even brighter. Imagine, this is what we're doing with what you've given us. Can you imagine what more we can do if you double our budget? I'm not joking. Seriously, this is what we're doing. It's like we're martial arts fighters, and this is what we're doing with both hands tied behind our back. You free those hands. Wait and see what we can do. Okay? So I remember last year challenging this committee. I will challenge you once again. I dare you to give us more funding than we've ever received in the history of the Northern Marianas. Fund NMC at an unprecedented level, and you will see unprecedented results. Sizus Masi again, thank you. And again, stay safe, stay calm, and sail on.
Thank you, Dr. G, for that. Chairman Cepeda, do you have a closing statement?
Advocate. We're here to advocate, and we're here to come up with ideas on how to make that happen. Make the reality of what we need in the CNMI well-educated individuals to come back home or stay home, remain at home. I do agree with that. Remain on our islands, Saipan, Luta, Tinian. We need to make them feel that there is hope. And NMC, as Dr. G has been alluding, we're doing our best with what we have, whether our hands are tied behind our backs. But NMC, they can do a lot more, a hell of a lot more, if we give them the support. And I cannot sit here and not agree with what the president has said and what the team has done as far as coming up here to advocate for their needs now, but advocate for the future. Those buildings are coming up. Those are something that we cannot close our eyes and see that it's not happening, but we need your support. And it's just going to turn back around to the whole community. It's going to support you, support your constituents, support me living here on our islands, with seeing that our local people coming back and being part of the community. So with that, yeah, I ask for more, as much as you can, as much as what this community needs, not just what NMC needs, but support our team at NMC. That's all we ask for. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Cepeda. And again, thank you, NMC. With that being there's none, the chair will now adjourn at 12:08 p.m. Thank you, members.